We're doing it. We're talking. We are delving deep into one of the legendary games of all time. No, not Ocarina of Time. Symphony of Time. What time? Nighttime. It's Castlevania. Symphony of the Night. And it's time. Oh, I love me a classic. Do you love you a classic? Well, if so, you've come to the right place. It would be quite classic of you to subscribe to the channel. I'm doing lots of Castlevania games and just digging deep into these reviews. But why is Castlevania Symphony of the Night so well regarded? Well, it's quite frankly the grandfather of the genre, the beloved Metroidvania. How many YouTubers have said that? All of them. But one thing they haven't told you is that a more accurate name would probably be something like Castle Metroid Zelda Quest Boy Monstervania 32. I think I'm the first. Listen, I mean, if we're gonna dig deep into semantics here, Symphony of the Night, it's got Metroid-like map progression. It's got Metroid and Zelda-like item-based progression. It's got the RPG mechanics of classics like Dragon Quest. It transforms your main character like Monster Boy. It's got 32-bit style from that PlayStation 1 and it's held up on a timeless level. But all of that is secondary to the fact that this game just has so many cool gameplay elements going for it. I mean, something like unlocking different transformations for Alucard, allowing him to soar through a level, or being able to just experience and enjoy that leveling up sound when you kill that monster or that boss. It's just so satisfying. Picking up equipment in either specific treasure designated areas from different monsters or purchasing it from a librarian. Who'd have thought to add in these RPG-like mechanics? Well, I guess Konami did with Castlevania 2, but Symphony of the Night, this is what perfected it. And it's really a wonderful experience to behold. But none of that would really be as potent or substantive if you didn't have the brilliant framework that you have in Symphony of the Night. The concept is simple. Exploring Dracula's castle as an inquisitive and vengeful young Alucard chasing his, not friend, Richter Belmont, but he comes to the castle and recognizes Belmont. There's actually a cool scene in the game where that happens. And along the way, you just experience so many of these excellent environments. Who'd have thought Dracula's castle was so massive? I mean, in the previous games, yeah, I guess in Super Castlevania 4, it does take up a good half of the game, but in Symphony of the Night, Dracula's castle is the game, and there are so many mind-bending, interesting areas, as well as this whole monster Necronomicon that you can explore from this weird dude in the library. I have so many memorable areas from Dracula's castle and Symphony of the Night. I'm thinking of this one area where you're going down this hallway and in the windows in the background, you could see these huge eyeballs looking at you. When that happened for the first time and I just noticed it in the rear view, I was just speechless. I was like, oh, am I going to come into contact with this big monster? Additionally, the game is just kind of beautiful. It's got art on the walls that appears after you get into these encounters with these epic boss battles. You have all these throwbacks to the classic Castlevania monsters and lore. Heck, you even start off the game fighting Giga Dracula as Belmont himself. It's a really, really cool experience. In addition, the tone is really set by, and this time I got her name, it's Michiru Yamane. Now, I didn't remember her in Castlevania Bloodlines by name, but Symphony of the Night soundtrack is what really made her legendary. There's so many beautiful tracks that I don't know if I'd necessarily listen to outside of the game, but that really set the tone of Dracula's castle. Whether it's the guitar riffs that you hear in things like The Tragic Prince, or when you're on one of the upper areas of the castle, when you're ascending the Tower of Mist, you're just hearing the sounds of Dracula's personal orchestra ooze into your ears. Or if you're experiencing one of the greatest songs of all time, Lost Painting, dude, it's just a whole nother level. Not to mention that this game has one of the best twists in video game history. And I don't want to spoil it. I want to keep this spoiler free. And I think I'm just happy saying that, because there is nothing quite like it once you experience it for the first time. You can really understand why this game was as impactful as it was. I think it's a bit of a shame that Symphony of the Night didn't quite sell to astronomical proportions in its initial day, but I'm glad it gained the cult following that it did. And needless to say, people love it now. I'm so excited to dig into the other 2D adventure-based Castlevania games on the Game Boy Advance and even the Nintendo DS. Is this one better than the side-scrollers before it? Well, that's another topic for another day. But, oh man, I don't know. This one's quite frankly in a caliber of its own. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Majora T, digging deep into the castle. Dracula's castle, that is.